I have a question for you. What excites you? What really makes you feel alive? These are the questions that I've been asking myself and kind of really weighing, because there's so many things that I love to do, so many things that I'm passionate about, but where do I focus, right? Over the past 25 years, I worked in the beauty and retail industry. My first makeup job was with Victoria's Secret Beauty. Yes, they had a beauty store at one point, and all the products were created by Shiseido. So it was actually really good quality. One day, a plus-size model came into the store and wanted me to do her makeup. So I did it, and she was so happy with it that she asked me to do makeup for her photo shoot for Mode magazine. That was my first and only tear sheet. A tear sheet is basically when a makeup artist does makeup on a model and they end up in a magazine. So you take that piece of paper from the magazine and you put it in an album or some type of portfolio. So that way you can show agencies or prospective clients. I also went on to do makeup for a couple test shoots. So test shoots are basically when an up-and-coming model shoots with a photographer for updated photos for their portfolio. Usually those photos are then looked over by the agency to determine the types of jobs that the model is going to get. I worked as a makeup artist for several amazing photographers over the years, and also got myself on Model Mayhem as a model to get my portfolio done as well. So I would do a lot of TFP, which is trade for print type photo shoots. So that way I was able to build my portfolio and work with more photographers. To be completely honest, I never thought I could model. And I was doing it to prove that I could, to myself, even if it was just for fun. Modeling was exciting and helped inspire me to believe in the impossible. I worked for several promotional modeling agencies. First, and this is really embarrassing, as a Jell-O shop girl. And then as an on-premise promo model. Now, we all got to start somewhere, right? So, on-premise is when you go to various locations and venues and events to promote certain products. Off-premise is when you're going to liquor stores and like different grocery stores even to promote certain products. So during that time, I learned a lot about wines and liqueurs. I also had a lot of fun dressing up and playing dress up for the cameras. And in a sense, being a magician, playing with makeup and transforming myself into how I wanted to look. Since I wasn't tall enough or thin enough to actually be with an agency, I took side modeling gigs. And the one memory I have is walking in a fashion show at Limelight many, many years ago when I was like 20. While I did the promotional modeling, I started getting writing gigs with an online writing mill called Demand Studios at the time. I also wrote for Yahoo and started my own food allergy blog called Maya's Happy Place. It was an outlet for all I was going through because I really wanted to help other people in similar situations. I wanted to help people that were suffering. Over the past 2.5 decades, I worked for companies such as Bobbi Brown, worked for Chanel twice, I worked for Sephora 3 times, I worked for MAC as a makeup artist in Herald Square at one point, and then I also worked as a freelancer. I also was a beauty advisor in CVS and actually gained some amazing friends there, and people there became like my family, which was really, really cool. And I can't say it wasn't like that in other places. I mean, I feel like in Sephora it was the same way. When you work somewhere full time, people become like your family. Nowadays, I'm a freelance fragrance consultant and I go to various locations throughout Long Island. But the truth is, with all of this and everything that I did, I always felt like it wasn't truly me. I felt like I could do so much more. And maybe it's because of me being a portrait artist, being a singer, loving editing videos, someone who loves music more than anything in the world. I felt like I was dressing up, putting on makeup, and living another life other than my own. Is that imposter syndrome? I'm not sure. But I felt like I wasn't truly me. I felt like I was keeping secret parts of me that made me who I am. I also felt like I was keeping secret some of the things that I was most passionate about and the things that I love to do most. For example, I loved going to haunted locations and investigating them and getting evidence for the paranormal. I've always been able to sense energy, whether it was in people, whether it was in locations, or whether it was energy itself. I have always been able to see spirits in my mind's eye. I always thought it was my imagination, but then later on realized that I was actually seeing spirits that were with people. I also love tarot cards, but more recently, I've put a stop to that because I've come to realize the energy I was attracting when it came to tarot cards, or tarot, as some pronounce it, is not the energy that I want to attract. That said, I do believe very deeply in the connections between psyche and energy. I do believe that everything vibrates to a specific frequency, and depending on the frequency that that object or matter holds, it's going to attract the same around it. So I do believe in life after death and love any opportunity to prove it, because I myself won't believe anything unless I see it or feel it or experience it. In this life, we make what we want of it, and I want so much more. We focus on the distractions out of fear instead of running towards the passions and the things that get us excited to wake up in the morning. Some of you know I started a YouTube channel back in 2019, which I've since taken down. It was getting a tiny bit of traction at about 650 subscribers. But something happened that made me realize I had to start it all over again. Many of the videos I had put up were of me struggling with severe food allergies and environmental sensitivities and severe chronic health issues that have since disappeared. No, I'm not joking. It took about 5 years, but yes, it's disappeared. I also felt like I was complaining about too many things, too many traumas in my life, instead of talking about the things that made me really happy and appreciating the things that I had. There's a small piece that I wrote on Medium about struggle being your destiny. I'm going to read it now. If you think that the only way to help people is through your struggles, you will continue to struggle. It's something that I said. Now, it's a belief, yes. We've all heard the expression, life is a struggle. I used to believe that statement. I used to add meaning to it. I didn't realize it was just an opinion of the person who said it. Over the years, people came into my life who wholeheartedly believed that statement. I've come to realize over the years that adding meaning to things is a soothing and coping mechanism. Sure, putting a positive spin on a difficult situation seems like the best thing to do. But is it? Even the most loving and compassionate people seem to socially perpetuate this behavior because some of the most common soothing statements are the first things that come to mind. But just like any distraction from feeling anything in the here and now, these responses are tools to distract the mind. Personally, I didn't believe it per se, but I did have beliefs that aligned with it. Challenges make you grow. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. If someone believes these statements to be true, there are hidden beliefs that the person will have to believe too. And it's often the hidden beliefs that are the most destructive because they support the main belief. Without the hidden belief, the main belief cannot be true. Let's take a look at those statements again. Challenges make you grow. The supporting belief for this implies that a person will remain immature or stagnant in life for as long as they don't have challenges. If the main belief cannot be true, then challenges can fade away. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. This statement implies that you have to go through near-death experiences in order to be the strongest human being you could possibly be, or to have the strongest character you could possibly have. So what happens? People who believe this over time might notice when they look back on the past, they faced near-death experiences. If that is true, there's good news. It means that you are a very powerful manifester of the things you focus on. So you also have the power to change what you attract in your life. Awareness of truths about yourself is the key to changing what you attract. You cannot change what you know to be true about yourself without changing what you believe in your current reality. For example, if you can recognize your strength can come from positive experiences, and that the positive interpretation of negative experiences was basically a survival mechanism, you can begin to take responsibility by making choices that align with your values and passions. You can begin to recognize that taking one step or one action towards your passion each day is one of the strongest things that you can do. You might see that asking for what you want or saying no in order to get your own needs met also builds personal power and inner strength. There are numerous ways to empower yourself and develop your own personal strength without having to go through the gauntlet. Strength is empowerment. Self-trust amplifies inner strength. Make a list of all the ways you assert inner strength and self-trust each day. Make a list of the things you've done in the past. Focus on those things and think of ways to challenge yourself further towards the life you've always dreamed of. I thought writing about the health struggles since birth was what I was supposed to do. I thought my food allergy advocacy and helping those who went through what I did was my calling. It's not. I am so much more than the struggles that I've overcome. The things I want to do are far beyond any kind of category or perfect little box. And for anyone who has ever had a chronic illness or disease, I know this is the case for you too. You don't have to be gifted or talented to make a huge difference in the lives of other people. I know I'm not the best singer, but music has always been the thing that brings me the greatest joy. Writing lyrics, producing music, and making the videos for them is when I feel like I'm in heaven on earth. And I know others seeing my joy will inspire them to live their greatest joy as well. Our life purpose is to be happy and to find happiness in the things we do. The thing that makes you most happy will be unique to you. Maybe it's just being present for a stranger who needs a listening ear. Maybe it's the gift of a smile that uplifts someone's heart. Whatever it is, find it today and give it your all. That way, you will look at you and know how strong you really are. Then those who know your story will too. Thank you so much for watching, and a huge thank you to all of my subscribers. See you soon.